Welcome back to my YouTube channel episode on depression. Today we are going to cover depression versus women. On the earlier topic, we had discussed more on what depression, how statistics say about it. And today on board, I have a guest who will assist us in knowing how depression is faring in ladies. Let me introduce her to our session today.
Thank you, Jedida. I'm very glad that you invited me here. I'm grateful. I'm Yolanda Bella Ooko. I'm a media personality. I'm also a YouTuber and a full-time dancer. Thank you.
Wow, that's fantastic. How do you understand this term, depression?
Now, for the longest time, the word depression was not really in the society as much.
Sure.
And there are a lot of things that define depression that people took to be normal. For example, you're always feeling lazy, as much as there's nothing you may have been partaking as an activity to make you maybe tired.
Exactly.
You may be sleeping a lot or not sleeping at all. You may assume all those things to be normal. That maybe I'm just sleeping a lot because I worked so much the other day, or maybe I'm not sleeping at all because I have a lot on my mind. But in the real sense, all those things are what lead up to the term depression. When you're self-sabotaging, you feel like you're worthless, you feel like you know nothing is really working out for you and that you don't deserve anything. So you give up hope. So when you get to that point, many people would assume, what, maybe I'm just tired of fighting, maybe I'm just tired of trying this and it's not working out. But in actual sense, that is depression creeping in.
Yeah, so in short, you can say that in depression there is no that flat curve. I mean, there is no abnormality. I mean, the normal is not being seen here. You try to act abnormal. You feel all the time that you're restless and that. Oh,
Exactly.
that's good.
Yeah.
How can you rate depression in our country of men in comparison to that of ladies?
Now, in Kenya right now,
Yeah.
the depression among ladies is more than the depression rate among men. This is because there are some things that women are susceptible to that men are not.
Exactly.
For example, women during pregnancy, during menstruation, those are things that heighten the capability of what depression creeping into somebody. Those are one of the accelerating factors that bring up depression in a person. So things like pregnancy are not things that happen to men. So women are more likely to be affected by depression compared to men.
Exactly. And even may ask, are there noticeable signs that one is depressed? And in this case, you are talking of ladies.
Yes, especially in women, since we're obviously talking about women,
Yeah.
there are some obvious signs.
Sure.
Although these obvious signs, we take them as normal.
Exactly.
You have a friend, she's been interacting with people, she's been going out, she's been attending classes, for example, in a school setup. Then all of a sudden, she wants to be alone. She doesn't want to interact with the outside world. She takes herself out of the equation of the outside world. And generally, if she was somebody who was well kept, you'll realize that her dress code maybe has changed, or the way she
Sure.
puts herself together. You realize that maybe Yolanda used to wear, she used to wear shoes while coming to class. Now she's in slippers. Like that is so unlike her. It is mostly the smallest of details that one may not necessarily notice if you're not looking, but there are those small details that you'd realize that somebody is really going through something, especially depression, and that you need to address it.
Exactly. So in this case, you find like the girl, or rather the lady, wants to take problems to herself. She doesn't want to
Exactly.
involve with friends in
Yeah.
looking for the solutions.
Exactly.
And what do you think are those factors accelerating or rather fueling depression to women?
Now, there are a lot of things that could cause depression,
Exactly.
especially the world being constant and everything else being not constant. Okay, so for example, when you're during your menstruation or during your menstrual cycle for the women, your emotions are heightened, everything is heightened in the body, and the body is more likely to be susceptible to depression then, because of the production of the hormones. Now, during this time, there are some things. Let me relate to the world now, in relation to social media.
The modern world.
Exactly, the modern world right now. So you're there looking, scrolling maybe on your phone,
Yeah.
and you realize that your friend is already having a job and you don't, or your friend has already graduated but you haven't, or maybe it might be the slightest of things. Maybe she has a boyfriend and you've just broken up with yours. Now, these comparisons, this feeling of failure, this feeling of failure also brings about depression.
The feelings as if you want to compete with.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. As much as you may not think it's a big deal, but it registers in the unconscious mind that, you know what, I don't have this, I don't have that, I haven't done this, I haven't done that. Now that piling up, to the mind, it feels like failure.
The pressure.
Exactly, that pressure, and
Sure.
that's what leads to depression. Now you start thinking how you are hopeless. You don't have maybe a boyfriend, you don't have maybe a spouse, or you don't have a job, you don't have, you don't have anything going for yourself. Yeah.
Once we talk of depression to ladies, they feel like in this state of depression, they doesn't want to talk about it. And what do you think could be the best treatment for this?
Now, I'm going to be straight with you. First of all, depression treatment is not cheap, and it's not easily accessible, right? So the easiest and most affordable way is probably to exercise or to do yoga, things like that, things that you can actually afford, especially exercise.
Exactly. And do you think in our country we have the best facilities to treat or rather curb this mental instability of depression?
Now, on that, I'm not sure, but what I know for sure is, I haven't heard of enough hospitals that really cover mental issues. Mental issues to this country is still something new. It's still a language that not many people speak,
Exactly.
and not many people come out there saying, you know what, I have mental issues. They may not even know that they have mental issues. So, for the treatment, I'm not really sure if there's like a specific hospital that gives proper treatment. But what I know for sure is, if you, except for the severe cases where you need medication, you can always start with exercise.
Exactly. In your own view, consider that you may have depressed friends, they maybe try to seek help without getting any. How can you advise such?
Exercise, exercise, exercise.
Exercise is all what we are talking here in our discussion today about depression versus ladies. I really appreciate so much our dear viewer. I hope the discussion has been so much engaging and will be so much helpful to you. One word from you, guest, before we leave this platform.
Now, thank you for giving me this opportunity to be here, and I hope, if not everybody, somebody out there is able to receive help with whatever we were saying. And exercise doesn't necessarily mean running or anything. You just have to choose what works for you. If it is maybe football, if it is dancing, like for me, you don't have to do what doesn't work for you. Do what works for you, whichever form of exercise you decide to partake in, so that you find help for yourself if you're not able to afford medication.
Wow, that's so much helpful. And let's say to be mentors and counselors of ourselves, and also to those friends outside there uh, who are facing challenges in depression, who doesn't know on where, or rather where to get the best solution. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and leave a comment. Thank you.